Introduction. Kresse Wessling has had numerous awards for entrepreneurship. She describes herself as an environmental entrepreneur. She's founded, I think, at least 4 companies, all in some way concerned with resource saving, and she's going to talk about her latest venture, which is Elvis and Kresse, which is looking to reclaim former industrial products into, I think, very beautiful and high standard and desirable objects. So, Kresse, over to you. Quick swap of microphone, and you simply hit that one.
We're doing a very good job recycling the microphone here today. I'm going to try to be really quick, because I can see that there's a lot of people who want to ask questions. This is a landfill site. This is the first one that I went to when I came to the UK in 2004. I love landfill. It's the first place I go to any country that I visit. Some people go to the museums and the theaters. I want to see the crap. This is how you decide whether a society is failing or succeeding. As a Canadian, I had higher expectations of the UK. I thought, this is, my sort of colonial overlord. There'll be geniuses at this. 100 million tons went to landfill in the year I arrived. It was very depressing. I started to see a lot of really cool things at landfill sites. Those are the patterns. That's where the money is. It's like seeing, I guess, a bit of copper in the earth. You see a pattern in a landfill, that is money, that is opportunity. And I saw a bunch of fire hoses, and I thought, those are gorgeous. Why are they in landfill? So I swam upstream a bit. I found people from the fire service, and I said, why do you throw your fire hoses away? Well, they're 22 meters long, average. It's a double wall nylon core with a nitrile rubber jacket extruded around it, and you cannot shred it, melt it, and make new hoses. So if you get an enormous hole somewhere at meter 11, they throw the whole hose out because there's only one shorty required on every fire truck in the UK. After that, there is no use for a short hose. Well, no use for the fire service anyway. We do everything backward in our business. We are, I think, considered a design practice now, but we never start with a piece of paper and a pencil. We are not like any other fashion company. We don't say, ooh, I would like to make something that's round. We look at the fire hose and go, what could we possibly do with this? And fire hose, I have to say, initially I wanted to make roof tiles, but there isn't enough global fire hose waste annually to have a sustainable roofing company. We also discovered after doing testing on the material that once exposed to UV for like 5 years, it starts to crack and decay. So it's not a suitable material as a roof tile. What it was suitable for, this is just more about backwards, what it is suitable for is making lovely, lovely products. Most companies would, I guess, write a business plan, get a loan, blah, blah, blah. We had a bit of cash from a business that I had sold, £40 to be precise, and we bought this, which was a rotary cutting tool. We had an order for 1,000 belts, because Elvis, my partner, had discovered that he could replace old, aging leather onto a buckle that was still in good use and make belts. We got an order for 1,000 pieces. We had 3 weeks to deliver. We started cutting the belts by hand, and we shredded our hands. We ended up with claws. So we found this tool that enabled us to make the 1,000 belts. That allowed us to buy sewing machines, and the business grew from there. This is a product that took us, let's say, 5 years to make. It sells for £220. It fits in every overhead locker of every airplane. It's very practical, it's very lightweight, it's extremely durable, and it's, I guess, the pinnacle of what we were trying to do. We are a slow fashion business. It takes us a long time to make anything. When we make it right. My belts are designed to last forever. If you ever get a problem with it, we will fix it. I don't want people to buy multiple belts from me. I want them to buy one for their lifetime. And so a lot of energy goes into designing a perfect product. Now, the other thing that we do, I suppose, is we give 50% of our profits away. In the case of the fire hose line, 50% goes to the firefighters' charity. And then you talk about consumer and convincing the consumer. Well, Cameron Diaz wears our belts, and not just wears them, but on the cover of US Vogue. And this completely changes people's perception of what waste is. And this was a game changer for our business. It happened in 2009. We've always been financed by cash flow. We have no debt and we have no investors. So it gives you an idea of what you can do when your raw materials cost nothing. This is, I suppose, the secret to our success. This is just thanks to Google. This is a map of all the industrial estates in the UK and a map of the landfill sites. Unfortunately, it's not an open-minded enough country to allow you to walk into a landfill and take things away. This is something that you can do in Canada, maybe you could in the 70s and 80s when I grew up. But certainly here they will not let you take anything. So you have to actually do a bit of espionage. You have to sit there and you have to see where the trucks are coming from. You have to get in your truck and you have to follow them back to the industrial estates from whence they came. And that's where you find sometimes thousands and thousands and thousands of tons of an absolutely clean, absolutely beautiful, wonderful raw material that otherwise would languish and die. That's basically what I do with my time, is hunt out waste. This is another project that we did, so it's not all about high fashion. On an industrial estate in Bow, I discovered all of these coffee sacks. And coffee sacks, this is an organic material. It should be composted. It's also got a very high calorific value. It should be burned as a fuel. But instead, they're going to landfill in this country. So we partnered with Sainsbury's. We made a bag for life. 50% of the profits from that went to developing coffee grower programs in developing countries, and we saved literally thousands of tons of coffee sacks from going to landfill. And the waste from the waste of that project we turned into a biomass fuel. This is what I think business is. You can get away with murder if you want to. It's a proven fact that lots of businesses are a lot like psychopaths, I suppose. But for us, what that meant was as soon as we made any money at all, we could keep the doors open. We could do whatever we wanted. We didn't have to compromise. We could keep to our ethics. I could make packaging from waste, business cards from waste, everything from waste. And as long as we were making money, everything was allowed. This on the top left is a picture of a shoe that we've made out of fire hose. So this is really proof that nothing is impossible, because this took us since 2005, and I think the shoe came out 3 months ago. And it's a very high-end shoe we sell with Oliver Sweeney, so really, genuinely nothing is impossible. This is a slide that I like to use, especially when talking to an environmental crowd, because we're always talking about reducing your impact. And it's a very negative dialogue. Lots of people do not want to hear this, especially when they're shopping. They don't want to be feeling guilty or depressed. And for us, that was never the way that we wanted to live. We wanted to have a very, very good business that maximized the value that we could put into materials and that we could give back to society, and then we want to have a big business. This is not about doing things in a niche way. This is about scale. By 2010, we had successfully taken and saved all of London's fire hose ongoing, and now we collect across the UK and into Holland. So for us, it was never about 5 hoses and 5 handbags. It's about saving all of the hose permanently, which is what we've done. I'll just give you some other ideas of things that we do. Glenfiddich whiskey, they use 100-year-old oak barrels to age their whiskey, and then when the cooper decides the barrel should be thrown away, they chip it and use it for agricultural mulch. I think this is a very sad death for a very wonderful material that has a stunning smell and almost intoxicating smell. So we turn it into furniture that sells for a lot more money than agricultural mulch. This is a table that we made for Oaxaca, a restaurant in London. This was a commissioned piece made from reclaimed scaffolding boards. Again, it's proof that you can sort of achieve high-end design with free materials. This, I'm currently restoring a factory in Kent. This, we were told we could not save this floor. It's a stone floor that was put into this building in 1837. But 45 minutes of tile and lots of scrubbing, and yes, we can save this floor. This is a new project. This is very, very circular. With the fire hose, we can't do perfectly circular. It doesn't work. But we had been called by leather company after leather company after leather company after leather company. Can you use our scrap? Because all we can do with it is landfill it. So we've come up with a way to turn leather scrap into a kind of Lego. We were always inspired by Lego, Elvis and I. So we've turned it into these component pieces, and you can make currently any geometric shape out of them. You can put it together yourself without any kind of tools or sewing machines, and you can take it apart 6 months later and make something else. You can trade pieces, you can do whatever you want. We launched it about a month ago, and it's gone mental in Germany, but we haven't sold a single piece in the UK, which is depressing for me, but I guess great for the Germans. This is a picture of Elvis. He never leaves the workshop, so I like to prove that he actually exists. But I also want to indicate that this is, for me, not just a business. It's very, very personal. We live in that factory in Kent, and our whole life is about waste. I'm also Canadian, so I like to put a bit of ice hockey, and particularly Gretzky, into every presentation. But he used to be very famous for saying that he was successful because he skated to where the puck was going to be. And for me, that's how we design. We design based on what we think 2050 needs. We design based on where we think the world, or the world we want to live in. So thank you very much.
Keep the mic. Kresse, thank you. I knew that would be inspirational, and it was. I'm going to take Chair's prerogative to ask you a question. Why has the UK not bought any of the leather product?
I don't know, because we launched it in London. We had a massive event in London. We did no marketing in Germany. But it's the bloggers and the online buyers that have just taken it to their heart there, I think, more than here. And we've had sort of 7 or 8 magazines cover it there. And we don't understand it, but it will catch on here. We sell more hose, though, in Holland than we do in the UK.
Right.
So this is always the last market for us to win over in any new thing that we introduce.
Yeah, I mean, Germany is famous for having taken up the cradle-to-cradle idea much sooner. But anyway, any of you out there who blog or tweet, there's your challenge. Get it on the map. Yeah. We have maybe just 5 minutes. Any questions for Kresse? Lady there.
Thank you. Yes, that really was inspirational. I have a huge sense of déjà vu. I'm currently a wax chandler. Think the original, perhaps, sustainable circle would be the wax, the honey, and the pollen. But 15, 20 years ago, I was very much involved in waste regulation. So it's really interesting to come back. Now, there were lectures then on reducing waste through better design. You know, there was a company, for example, who had a waste disposal problem with batteries, and they took it on its head and say, rather than look at better ways of recycling them, we'll design out the batteries or reduce very, very much the number of batteries that are used. But that was really quite a long time ago, and we don't seem to have made much progress. Or am I just coming back? I mean, I'm coming back to it after a very long time ago. And the processes, is it because we have developed into such a must-have society that the design and the reuse has not caught up with the amount of insatiable demand? Is it that? Thank you.
So just for the tape, the question is, we've been talking about this, I agree with you, for 20 years at least. Why hasn't it been driven? Is it because we just have insatiable appetites?
Well, I can answer this in 2 ways. I think the time is different now because the need for us to make these changes is much greater. So 20 years ago, resource costs were still very, very low, and resource costs now are rising at a rate that no one really can afford. So that will drive change. The internet massively drives change, and the way that people can share information and ideas and innovation much, much quicker. That will make things, I think, happen a lot faster now. And I can't really speak to sort of the insatiable demand that consumers have. All I can say is that it is the job for a designer, for us, to say, demand all you want. I'm going to deliver the best product, and it's going to take care of the environmental side. I'm going to take care of that. And that's how a lot of designers feel.
I completely agree with that, but then a lot of designers don't have the freedom to force that down the supply chain. They're working to a brief. I think a lot of Sophie Thomas's narrative this afternoon is about getting the whole system to think about the design, not just the designers who are crucial, but the whole system, and accept that it's for the whole supply chain to have that motivation and drive.
Yeah.
For your record, madam, My name is Heather Hawker.
Okay.
Heather
Hawker.
Heather Hawker, thank you. Sorry, I saw a hand go up and go down again.
Yeah.
Lady there, and then one. Was it the gentleman behind you? Did you have your hand up? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gentleman there. Okay, lady there. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Catherine Blaze from Chemistry Innovation. It's one of the KTMs sponsoring this event. Do you ever find a situation where you're getting something for free, but eventually the person who has that, or the company that has that, realizes the value and suddenly says, well, they're making money, I want to make a bit of money out of this too, and so your business model eventually changes and you have to pay for that resource which originally you found for free?
No, we haven't found that. We do give 50% of our profits to related charities, and that's very much the charity we choose is something that we choose in partnership with our waste stakeholders, and that means everybody is tied into the success of the product. And the fire service is about saving lives. They're not about saving hoses. So we generally look at materials that are real problems for people. But if somebody decided to charge me, to be honest, I would just walk away. 100 million tons to landfill, I will never run out of materials to rescue. And I think we currently have solved the problem of 15 different niche materials in the UK, and we get a call every 3 days to take on a new one. So, you know, if someone did something disappointing like that, after years of investment and success, I would just walk away.
Okay, very quickly.
I just wanted to respond to the point made about consumer demand. From where we're sitting, we do see an increasing propensity of people who want to use the repair items. We've opened a reuse hotline in London, and just in 18 months we've taken 17,000 calls from the public who want to use a reuse service rather than a bulky waste service. And that's, it equates to 500 tonnes of furniture and appliances and even toasters that come into our reuse centres.
We have the same in our workshop in Kent. People come in and repair trousers. We have all the sewing machines. Lots of people don't. People come in, use the rivet presses, use the sewing machines, and we find that lots of people are using that because we have a transparent, open workshop.
So the lesson is put the infrastructure in, and people will use it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, this is probably a really good point. Kresse, thank you very much indeed.